All right, welcome live to our Sunday night episode where we're going to talk about how Wisconsin was thumped by our Hawkeyes. And I don't know, I lost count of how much we've outscored them, 70 something points to 10 in the last two seasons. So much for the push ups. and
79 points. So
yeah, so I sent out a video clip. I don't know if you guys saw it where after the game, one of the players mentioned the push ups.
I seen on a podcast, and I don't know what they were. I missed it kind of. They go, I don't know if they were just talking about 37-0, or the two combined scores were the worst drubbings. I think it was just 37-0 at Wisconsin was the worst drubbing Iowa's given Wisconsin at home since 1929.
Yeah.
First time we've shut them out there since Niall Kinnick played.
Yeah, it's the first time Wisconsin has been shut out by anybody since the 90s.
Really?
Yeah. So anyway, guys, let's do this introduction real quick. I see we got a few viewers already. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
You guys can comment anytime and ask a question or just, call us out on something. That's okay. Guys, if you're watching right now, smash that subscribe button. Do it right now. It's right there in front of you. And then hit the like button. It's also right there in front of you. Hit that like button and then click that little bell. And when we go live, you will be notified. And so, yeah. And then, share it out. Let's just do a guy a favor. Share it out with Facebook's new algorithm. Every time we share it out somewhere, it's getting lost and pending or marked as spam. And I have to go and ask the admin to release it. Fortunately, two of the sites I go to, the admin have now made me pre-approved, so that helps. As long as they know what they're doing. I appreciate the admins out there that are working with me. I appreciate it very much. Okay. So this is about Wisconsin getting thumped. Now, we're just going to, first of all, before we talk about Wisconsin, Calvin has a little bit of news he wanted to share. And as always, he goes first in our segment with our news, our newsy guy, our media guy.
Okay. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. First one was, and I have, I don't know, like 7, 8 news things that are very short. First one is Vienna Murray, who is Megan Gustafson's niece or cousin or whatever from Minnesota. She committed to Jenny Brancic, Jenny Lillis in Oklahoma. She was one of the last few that we were recruiting in women's basketball. She's a top.
Even Megan couldn't get her to pick Iowa.
Anyway, she kind of picked Iowa. She picked Iowa South. That's Oklahoma. So, but we got other really highly recruited girls that are in the running yet. So, including this weekend is the great Jenica Lewis is visiting from Des Moines, and they play. Those are the two that were played the same position. They're off guards. Other news, which we aren't going to talk much about because that'll be in our next show, is Mr. Franklin at Penn State got fired. Who would have dreamt that when the season started? Today found out that Tavian Banks, the basketball player at Iowa, got arrested. I don't know how it's a misdemeanor. It's a simple misdemeanor. And whether he pushed somebody, you can get a misdemeanor for touching somebody, hitting somebody, pushing somebody, touching somebody. So I'm not going to comment on it because we don't know the details. Tuesday, the point guard from St. Louis, who I don't think Iowa's going to get, he's down to 4 schools, Mr. Coleman. Very good point guard. I think it's Texas Tech and Wake Forest, and Wake Forest is the one that was been in on him for the long time. So He's going to announce on TV someplace on Tuesday. Keegan Murray hurt his thumb. He's going to be out 5 weeks. We had, I said the big recruiting weekend with Jenica Lewis, but there's a lot of good football players coming in. Some of them are committed to other teams, and some of them, of course, are underclassmen like Cooper DeJean's brother. And a multitude of others are coming in for the big Penn State game. Baseball won their exhibition. I think it was Friday. And then today, field hockey and soccer both won. So they're all doing good. And all the other news was the 2 media days for men's and women's basketball happened this week. I don't know if either one of you guys want to comment on that. Anything?
Say that again.
The Big Ten media days for both men and women. Did either one of you have anything you gleaned from that, commenting that you thought interesting? Or
well, I will say on the men's side, I can't think of the black player's how to say his name, but the 2 guys
Cam.
that
Just call him Cam.
Cam, okay, Cam and Brendan, right? Sturts.
Yeah.
Okay, or Brandon Sturts. All right, so their comments about some people are going to be surprised about some people on the team are going to surprise a few people. And was it Jarak that they said is going to surprise some people? No, it was Trey Thompson, that's going to surprise some people this year. And he's only 17 years old. He's supposed to be a senior in high school right now. And so that's about out of 2 days worth of stuff. That's all I took away. Paul, did you see any of that stuff?
I didn't, but get your tickets for the Savannah Bananas. Aren't they playing a game in Kinnick?
Yeah,
they are, but not till
like
next
July or something.
Still, get your tickets.
Yeah. They're playing a game at Anaheim Stadium. And I don't remember when, but I'm in the lottery for that.
A lot of times when they play someplace, their tickets are so in demand that they're like Paul McCartney. They'll end up having like 2 games instead of 1.
I thought I saw they were playing on the 3rd and the 4th, or the 4th and the 5th.
Okay. They're like, aren't they like the Harlem Globetrotters of baseball or something?
Yeah, I would say that.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you seen them before, Paul?
Well, Savannah, Georgia's only an hour from here.
So, okay.
Hour and a half.
I'm surprised they would play any games in Savannah. I thought they were pretty much all over the place.
Yeah, they travel around. But yeah.
It's like the Harlem Globetrotters don't really ever play in Harlem.
True.
Kelvin, did you want to say anything about, because I know you watched both days pretty good. Anything stick out to you?
I was surprised when I seen the Iowa women were ranked 20th in the country with some early poll. I know people on the Facebook, a lot of people on Facebook are kind of goofy, they go, "Oh, that's too low." I didn't really expect them to be rated. The Iowa women, we're such a young team. What do we got, Dean? Is it like 11 freshmen and sophomores?
Yeah, something like that. I mean, we have no juniors, and we have 3 seniors.
Yeah, that's a lot of expectation. I know there's a lot of talent there, but.
Yeah. Also, Hannah mentioned that she's been working on the 3-point shot. She said that they don't usually come out this past years when she's out on the wing. They don't come out to guard her, but she hopes that changes this year. So
if she's making them, I hope they don't guard her.
Right.
Yeah.
If she makes them, they're gonna start guarding her. The whole point is if she makes enough of them, they guard her and pull them away from the 2 centers that we're gonna have in the game, rotating. So
she's our returning star.
Yep.
So.
Yep. She should make the WNBA. Get somebody there.
Yep.
All righty, guy. Especially with the new expansion, we're gonna have 2 new teams this year coming in.
Yep.
All righty, guys. What else have we got going? Any more news there, Calvin?
That was the end of my news. I try to get through it so we have plenty of time where we don't run out. We don't have an hour and a half show where we're trying to get our picks in and all that. So I try to be brief on it. So
hey, Brandon, if you're going to give your score on Wednesday, that means you're not watching my Tuesday show. Okay, I'm gonna since we're getting ready to start the Wisconsin thing. All right, not to toot my own horn, but I called that absolute domination last night. Love seeing us do the jump around in Camp Randall. A matter of fact, that was one of my positives today, was seeing the players do the jump around. I loved it. I loved it.
We've come a long way from we're not sexy.
I guess I don't know I'm missing that on that one totally.
A few years ago, Kirk had said that we aren't sexy. We're not a sexy program.
Oh, okay. All we do is win 10 games a year, right?
Something like that.
Got to get 10 wins this year. We got to win out. Guys, I got the feeling after Penn State's abysmal performance is 0-3 in the Big Ten, and Oregon getting handled by Indiana the way they did. I mean, Indiana. Let's just put it this way. I think we looked better against Indiana than Oregon did.
True.
I thought we beat Indiana, really.
Yeah.
We should have beat Indiana.
Well, I thought we beat them. We gave them we threw them an interception to start the game, and then Gronowski got hurt and other things.
Yeah, bad screen pass that would have led to a touchdown.
Yeah. When Hecklinski threw his one short little pass there, I just thought, boy, he'd have completed that screen pass. But anyway.
Yeah, speaking of that. Okay, so I gave you guys one of my positives. Paul, why don't you give me a positive that you took away from that game?
Gosh, there were so many. I'm just gonna go with getting some guys back that we wanted to see, like Vanderzee. It was his first action of the year, so it's good to get him back in the lineup. He definitely adds somebody that he's another playmaker.
Okay.
He looked dependable.
Yes.
He did.
Yeah. That's something that we need, is a dependable big receiver. So.
All right. The boss is coming in finally.
All right.
Oh, the big star is finally showing up. He thinks that he can just show up whenever he wants to.
He was just waiting to see if I was going to be on.
Yeah. Can I give my first positive?
Yes, you can.
Okay, my positive I thought was the real big positive, and a lot of people are calling it a negative, was I was very happy that Gronk played 60 out of 63 snaps. He proved that, hey, me and Kirk are not worried about my leg. I thought that was a big positive that we didn't play him like the first half and then take him out because he's limping around or something. I thought that was a positive.
Okay, well, the way you presented it is definitely a positive, because it means...
Well, it showed that they had confidence in that leg, to me.
Yeah, well, he did say after the game that that's the best his leg has felt since he first got hurt after the game.
He talked about how much pain he was in.
Yeah. I was scared every time he took a tackle. I was scared that he was going to get carted off the field.
Yeah, big old heavy brace on his leg. That was a different brace than he wore earlier in the season. That was a big old heavy brace. So anyway, that's my positive.
Mike says, can I just say the game as a positive? All of it is a positive.
True.
Yeah, when you thump thump the boys that way. Yeah. He says Gronowski is a tough dude. Reminded me of Bether getting beat to hell and still chugging. Yeah, but Bether got to the point in a bowl game to where he shouldn't have been out there playing. And
I was at that bowl game.
were you? Okay. All right,
Yeah.
Jason, you haven't missed much. We're just working on some positives out of the game. Anything positive you took away?
That everybody executed at a high level.
Yeah.
Offense, defense, special teams. I mean, legit, everything. Everything they did was working except the passing game. And the receivers were there. They ran the right routes because they were open. Gronk just kind of struggled. He struggled being accurate. Like that interception he threw was kind of silly. I think he was trying to just force it in, trying to make a play because I believe we were already up 20-0, if I remember right, on that pick. But the receiver wasn't even open. They had two receivers in the same area, right? And so, but as a whole, the whole game, defense dominated, the running game dominated, and they're supposed to be a top 5 rush defense on the year, or top 6. I think Dean said they were 6, but
I think Iowa was 4th and they were 6th. I'd have to go back and verify that, but that's going to change after this week anyway.
And we piss pounded them. We pretty much ran the ball right down their throats. They had no answer. Moulton's inside run game surprises the hell out of me. I think it surprises Lester too, because Lester even commented on he wished Xavier Williams or Jazz was there last week or 2 weeks ago or whatever. He was a little nervous about running the football up the middle without those two, because he said Moulton and then 25. I always forget his name. Their specialties is outside running.
McLean.
McNeil.
What did I say?
McNeil,
McLean.
yeah.
McNeil. Yeah, McNeil.
You're watching Die Hard. Are you watching Die Hard in the background?
No, he was talking about Denny McLean that pitched for the Tigers in '67. Yeah, we're older people. Yeah, so. That's only McLean I could think of. But go ahead.
But no, I mean, my take is just how well they executed after a tough loss to Indiana. I mean, they could have beat Indiana. If they make that field goal against Indiana, they don't go all out blitz because they're up 3, right? To give up that touchdown. I mean, if you think about it, if you watch the Oregon game against Indiana and how Iowa's defense was beating the hell out of Indiana, I mean, Iowa's defense is legit.
Yeah.
I mean, they proved it the way Indiana took it to Oregon's defense. So, I mean, this could be one of those years where, everybody just, it's over. Iowa season's over. They're 2-2 on the year, and they end up 10-2, right?
Mm-hmm.
With what's going on at Penn State, they should beat Penn State, and that just leaves Oregon and Nebraska. And I think Nebraska is the fake ID because they literally haven't played anybody. So I'm waiting for them to play somebody.
But they're winning. They're doing something. Yeah, I was just going to say, Nebraska's doing something that past Nebraska teams haven't done. Is they're coming back at the end of the game to win.
Right, but have they had this easy of a schedule?
No.
Yeah. The only team they played with a pulse is Michigan. We don't even know how good Michigan is. And they lost to Michigan, right?
At home.
So
USC looked really good.
USC looked good too.
We got to go to USC. They got a quarterback. They got great big linemen this year. It's a different USC. So,
I mean, they did look good, but don't tell Vandy that, because Vandy says USC's the fake ID of college. So be careful. You'll get a comment from Vandy.
Whatever. Everybody has an opinion. So
I know.
I forgot to send this out to everybody. That's why we don't have everybody here tonight. Sorry, I forgot to send it out.
But yeah, that's my take is just how well the team executed, how well they were into the game after a heartbreaking loss, right? And for the bye week probably helped.
Yeah.
I bet you the bye week helped with that loss to be ready for this game. I mean, it was just, but I picked the game to be 31-14, I believe is what I said. So the game went, I just thought Wisconsin would be able to do a little bit against Iowa's defense. Boy, I was wrong. Because I watched the Michigan-Wisconsin game. Wisconsin's offense was able to move the ball against Michigan with that quarterback. So I had just assumed that they would at times be able to move the ball against Iowa, but they didn't have 100 yards passing, not even close. And they only got 100 yards rushing on that last drive, when they were driving against our backups. I think they ended with like 120 yards rushing or something. So, yeah, I was just impressed. I was impressed.
They got some yards rushing when Phil, near the end of halves and stuff, and the game when Phil started playing softer too.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and they took the backups out. Oh boy, were you a part of Dean's? Did Dean text you guys about Iowa's rush defense in that second quarter when they put the backups in? Woo, Dean was not happy.
I was not.
It was 20-0, and they took out Graves and company. They put in the backups, and Dean was like, "Our run defense sucks." I was like, "Look at who the D line is. The starters are."
Well, I didn't say they sucked. I believe my words were all of a sudden we can't stop our run or something. I said all of a sudden we can't stop.
Yeah, that's what you said. I put words in your mouth, but my words are better.
I know, because you're making me look bad.
So, Dean, do you have a second positive?
I do.
Okay.
Actually, he kind of hit on most of them, but not directly. Okay, so the rushing yards, that they were number 6 in rushing defense, and I believe we rushed for 5.2 yards a play, 210 yards rushing, and so I thought, and I remember on the Wednesday night show that I was on the Hawkeyes, I believe Brandon or Brad said that was going to be a grinded out running game, and I said no, the only way to win this game is by passing. I guess I was proven I don't know what I know, because the coaches came up with a great running game plan, and the passing sucked.
Well, we completed 70% of our passes, but they were all short, Yeah.
Right. The game
and that
plan,
was the way I figured it would have to be, short passes and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the game plan was perfect on both sides because we had open receivers, but he just kept checking it down. They were planning to play action and throw it deep, but he just kept checking it down, which was fine because it kept drives alive, right? I mean, it's still hitting the tight end over the middle for a first down, hitting receiver on a stick route for a first down. It was in the slot. I mean, his passes, we got first downs out of his passes. There just wasn't any big gains.
Yeah. All right. Paul, come up with another positive for us, bud.
I'm going to say we played 60 minutes, right? It would have been real easy, 20-0 at halftime or whatever, for this to be a very slow, boring second half. Just grind it out, run, punt, But we didn't run it up, but we didn't shut it down either.
I mean, my answer to that would be just the execution was too good.
Yeah.
Right. They still ran it. Now, granted, they did pass it on third down and got first downs out of it on those short routes. But man, the offensive line, I don't know if we've had an offensive line like this since 2002. You guys might know a year. I know they won the award in 2015 or 2016, but if you watch the line this week, and I watched it quite a bit, I mean, they just moved everybody. It was just amazing.
But
We
I mean,
had a great offensive line last year. They were, so.
Okay. While we were all talking, I sent this out to everybody. So, Mike says that USC Indiana might be playing in Indy this year. Imagine saying that 5 years ago. Well, 5 years ago, USC wasn't part of our league, so but Indiana playing, yeah.
hey, just
I don't think anybody.
Imagine going back to August 1st and having someone tell you, come October 12th, Northwestern will have a better record than Penn State does.
Yeah, that's the key right there. But I don't think
everything
USC,
is really unpredictable.
Yeah.
So.
I don't think USC has a shot because no one's beating Ohio State. So I think it's going to be Indiana, Ohio State in the Big Ten. I don't think anybody else has a shot because I don't think Indiana's going to lose. And because they don't play Ohio State. You guys, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't believe they play Ohio State.
I don't think they do either.
I don't think so.
And nobody's beating Ohio State this year. So I think that's going to be the game. It's going to be Indiana, Ohio State in the championship.
Well, maybe that's Wisconsin's excuse is, they play Ohio State next. So they just got caught looking ahead.
I think they got caught looking like a behind.
There you go.
They are a sorry arsed team. So.
Oh, good gosh, yes, they are.
Can I go to my next positive?
Sure, go for it.
Yeah, I'm trying to get through all these positives. Let's go. Well, they've mentioned offensive line. You mentioned a lot of subjects already. I'll say clean special teams for the first time. There's only one special teams play I hated, and I won't mention it. It was the one where Wetchen caught the ball with a guy right standing, breathing on him. That was not. He's going to get chewed out for that, even though it worked out all right. But
yeah,
first clean special teams all year.
Yeah.
So that was a positive.
I want to comment on that Wetchen thing because I did write that in the site that when he caught that, he started to go left. If he goes left and stays that way, he had a hole he could have slipped between two guys, and he's fast enough that they wouldn't have been able to. He could have broke their attempts to tackle him. Yeah. But what he did was he saw that big guy coming on his left side, so he tried to go right, and then he was surrounded by three people who dumped him on the ground.
My point was I swear he didn't see the guy that was 1 inch standing in front of him.
I know.
That could have been a touchdown the other way.
Well, he saw him.
No fair. I know he's seen it, but it was not a smart football play, and that's all I'll say about it.
No, it wasn't. But they were jawing back and forth. He did it to the guy just because he could. They were going at each other every time he got the ball on the punt team. Every single time. If he didn't do anything, the guy would talk smack. So it was just he made a college kid play. Yeah. But I've been saying all year, I want to see Wetchen at running back. I can't wait to see what they have with him. Because apparently if it was a close game, we were going to see a lot of different things with Wetchen that game.
And we still did see quite a few.
Yeah, we still saw the tunnel screen to him. We saw the middle screen to him. We saw him get a toss, which I loved, and he gained 11 yards on it. I've been wanting them to use him at running back more and more. Get him the ball. He doesn't run the best routes, but they have to get him the ball on offense. He is too good of a weapon.
I know he's in his 5th year, but don't you think he's running routes a little better now than he did?
He doesn't run them he runs them too deep. I mean, he probably does, but he runs his routes too deep. I mean, and even Lester says it. He doesn't understand angles as a route runner. He doesn't understand
every time he gets his hands on the ball, he wants to score. Every single time, which I like that attitude. But sometimes, you might, I don't know. Anyway, Sean
Okay.
Jensen is on here. He runs the Iowa Hawkeyes football Facebook site. Welcome, Sean. He says,
Mhm.
"Go Hawks." I just want to say I met Sean. I didn't remember it until later because he and I were private messaging each other, and he sent me some texts that we went on before. But back when Iowa was still doing their open spring practices in West Des Moines, I had met him at the game, and I had never met him before, and I don't remember how we knew each other and how I knew to look for him, but we did hook up at that game for a few minutes. But I had my grandsons with me, both of them, and so hi, Sean. I don't know if you remember that or not, but I finally did remember. Going back to Mike's comment, Wisconsin got caught looking ahead. All right, looking ahead to the next coach. I honestly thought Fickle would have got fired after this debacle, but he still has a job. So
If Wisconsin was Penn State, he would have been fired. But Wisconsin's not Penn State, and they can't afford to fire him. They don't have that kind of money.
Penn State ain't even paying Franklin. I found out today Adidas is buying him out.
Who is Franklin?
Adidas took Penn State was with a different shoe company, and this year they're going with Adidas. And Adidas wrote the $58 million check. It's over time. It's not all in one lump sum, but that was interesting to me.
Yeah, I knew somebody else was. I mean, that's the only way a college can afford to do that, right? Is if a billionaire comes in and does something like that, which is why Iowa doesn't want to do anything like that. Wisconsin, I think they still owe like 60-some million to this guy. They pay him like $8 million a year at Wisconsin. Like it's something like that. So
I heard $66 million is the buyout.
Yeah, there you go. I knew it was something like that.
Okay. All right. I'm going to catch up on some of these guys' readings right here. Hayden Large had a catch that was plus 20 yards down inside the 5. Sean says he does remember that. He says Penn State makes me nervous, and I agree with you, Sean. If Franklin was still coaching, I would be more comfortable with this game. But who would have thought 3 weeks ago that we'd even be thinking of beating Penn State? Not one of us here thought we could beat Penn State.
No, I know that was one of the losses I had, but that Hayden Large catch didn't count. Remember? Maybe that's what they were saying.
It bounced off the turf.
Yeah,
that's true. It did. It bounced up off the turf.
He tried catching it with one hand. It went right down to the ground and bounced right back up into where he had it.
Yeah. But don't you think he could have tried to turn away from the referee so the referee couldn't see that?
Well, he's surrounded by referees, Dean,
and cameras
Yeah.
But
okay. All right, who's next to do a positive here?
I've already gave all my positives.
I know you.
I know you covered like every subject in one thing. It's like I'm looking at my list. Like, did he kind of mentioned that one? But I think it's Paul's turn, but I'm not sure.
Paul, did you have another one?
I mean,
I know there's a lot of good things that happened in that game.
That I would have to say, not just defensive execution, but I love the defensive effort. Like they were hitting, and that was good to see. The defense was hitting.
Okay. Well, I took one positive, another positive away from that game. That Gronk played. And he came out of the game, feeling pretty good.
That was my first positive, that he played almost every snap.
Yeah, but I wasn't talking about him playing every snap, because that's going to come on my negative side here in a minute.
I'm trying to manifest myself a Diet Mountain Dew like Paul has. I'm sitting here looking at his Diet Mountain Dew.
All I got is water. Tomorrow's weigh-in day. I got to make sure I
got Kool-Aid. I don't have any. I have Diet Coke, but we don't have any Diet Mountain Dew in the house. Dang it, we're all out.
Yeah. Okay. Also,
My
too. Go ahead. Go ahead.
my one of my biggest positives was I read some media guy who was picking out his MVP on defense and everything, and he picked a linebacker who we know who that linebacker would be, and I thought, are you kidding me? You know, Aaron Graves was the defensive player of the game. I mean, he disrupted the interior, of course, his famous interception and everything, and the PFF scores came out, and you know, our defensive line had unbelievable PFF scores. And the other defensive lineman that was a beast, he didn't get near as many snaps, was Brian Allen, got a 90 something. You talk about an athlete, you know. But
It's hard
I
to get
thought
in
Aaron,
the 90s. It's hard to get those ratings in the 90s.
I know his pass rush and his tackling and everything. It was like, but them two guys, I mean, they were the defensive line. The secondary play had really good PFF scores too. Linebackers not so much, but
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah.
So Mike
Our
says,
linebackers struggle.
yeah, 2 big boy interceptions. When was the last time that happened? God, if Graves could have just been a little bit faster, but watching him waddle down toward the end zone. Oh my God, he almost made it. He just needed another foot. He would have been in.
Well,
Yeah.
it was arguable whether he made it or not. You know,
Mm-hmm.
they looked
On the
at it and
replay,
looked at it and looked at
yeah.
it. You know,
On the replay, I could have swore his left knee was down before he hit the pylon. It was like knee down pylon. But
yeah.
I didn't think there was enough to overturn it. It has to be undisputable, so they should have stood as a touchdown.
Yeah, but
It would have
But
been a
watching-
great wedding. It would have been a great wedding present for him.
Yeah,
I was excited for him.
I was too.
mhm.
You know, and then the
Did
other
you hear
one, as soon
Kurt?
as that ball was flipped up, tipped up in the air, I knew our other lineman had a catch too.
Yeah. And Graves said he had the same play as a sophomore in high school, and again he got tackled at the goal line by the quarterback.
It's
So.
because he's got no speed. I was laughing my head off
Yeah.
watching him
No,
waddle down the line, and then the
He
announcer
could,
going,
I'll tell
he's
you,
gonna-
I'll tell you one thing. He's by far the fastest guy of us four. So
Nope.
But watching him do that, and then before he was even halfway to the end zone, the announcers are going, "He's gonna have a touchdown." Yeah, that didn't happen, announcer.
He's 305 pounds. I mean,
I know.
come on.
I
don't
wasn't
know
being
what-
critical. I wasn't being critical because we don't get that very often. When was the last time we saw a lineman do that? You know, I think we had one do against Penn State do a scoop and score.
Davian Nixon at Penn State had a 70-yard,
Yeah.
and he juked the quarterback.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Right after he caught it.
Adrian.
Hey,
Clay-
Sean, let me interrupt you real quick. Sean, we're going to be talking about that on Tuesday night's show about who's going to start for Penn State, because right now they got 2 quarterbacks injured on the injured list. So, but we should have a good idea come Tuesday night's show.
And we may have a very good guess. So hopefully, but
Yeah. And how will we study film on him? That's true. We don't probably have any film on him at all. Whoever that person is.
You don't study film, you just knock him on his arse, you know?
Wait a minute. Who came in for Aller? That's who we're probably going to have starting. So there is film on him.
Yeah.
Kid that
I
got
think it was a red.
I-
I think they've announced a red shirt freshman's going to start or something. But,
Well, they wouldn't have said it yet.
but
Because
I
you know
think
what? Now we got a new interim coach. I don't know who the new interim coach is. That's his decision.
I don't know if his name was McGublin or something. I don't know. But anyway, that's
How would
Tuesday
you like to
night.
have been? I don't know. Anyway, Davian Nixon is a name I haven't heard in a while. Thanks for the nostalgic trip.
He was Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year. His 1 year he started at Iowa. He went pro, and did he go to Carolina or Jacksonville? I can't remember where, but he never made it in the NFL.
Carolina.
Okay.
Carolina. Yeah, not Jacksonville, because Paul would know.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I have another positive. The fact that Drew seemed to be back in his head again. He found his head, so they must have sent him to a psychologist over the week, the bye week.
He's
So,
too good to miss, too long, but
yeah. Well, that's what I figured. I figured if the sooner he got his head back, the better he would be because when you start missing, you start doubting yourself, and your self confidence goes away. Even good players are like that.
I got another quick positive.
Go for it.
We 3 words. We got Kirk.
Right?
Kirk is 70 years old, still is kicking rear end and taking names, and everybody every year complains about him. Oh, we'll get rid of him. I want Jay Norvell to be coach. I want one of the Stoopses. I want the Kansas State coach. I want the Kansas coach. I want the Penn State coach who just got fired, So we got Kirk. That's a positive. So
I'm going to throw this out there as a positive, kind of in the same vein that you guys talked about Gronkowski playing 60 of the 63 snaps as a positive. I'm going to say the downfield interception was actually a positive in that we threw the ball down the field. It's great to have a running game, but you have to be able. Part of the reason I think we actually had the running game is because we were willing to threaten down the field a little. They couldn't just stack the box to stop the run.
It's good to have that. It's good to have that threat, Paul.
Yeah. All right. Mike says this will make you guys happy. Seeing the message clearly that I think he's trying to say things get stale at Penn State really makes you appreciate Kirk constantly reinventing himself year to year.
True.
Okay.
Well, and
the starting quarterback for Penn State's Ethan Grunkemeyer.
There you go. Wasn't his brother the quarterback there? A drunken Meyer.
A drunken Meyer.
Doesn't that name sound familiar though, Jason?
Grunkemeyer does sound familiar, but I don't know how I know it. I can't put it to how
I know it was a Penn State player, whether it was a tight end or a quarterback or something. I think his name was Neil Drunkenmeyer or something, but I don't know.
On the season, he's 8 for 11 passing for 102 yards.
Yeah.
So there you go. That's who's starting, and he's 8 of 11 passing. But he looks more like a running quarterback than he does passing to me. So I don't know.
Another positive I threw out there before I asked you guys if it was true or not. I didn't remember any injuries.
I don't remember any injuries either.
No. That is a big positive.
Although we probably sent a few Wisconsin players to the sideline. They seemed like they were going down like flies. Another one goes down. All right. I did want to point out, I did like the fact that Williams scored 2 touchdowns, and I'm both on pretty solid runs, I believe. I know one was a solid 20-plus yard run. I don't know about the other.
The other one was a 19-yarder, and it was actually better than the long one because he had to juke a couple people. He showed he had moves. The long one, he just saw the hole and took it and outran everybody. But
we needed Williams back, guys. We needed Williams back.
But we only had 3 healthy running backs. We took Braden Jackson along. He went on the trip as an emergency, a walk-on true freshman. We took him along as our emergency fourth guy. Brevin Dowell went along, but I don't think Brevin Dowell must not be healthy. He was on the travel squad too. But
yeah. He's not. He was on the sideline though, with his helmet on, just limping around.
Was he limping? Was he limpy?
Yeah, he was limping around.
Okay.
You knew he wasn't going to go out there regardless. He wasn't going to be able to.
Maybe only in an emergency. Like the
he
three
could-
ahead of him went down.
He can limp his way out there and be the 11th person, but
Is Braden's Fred's kid? Anybody know?
yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
I think
There you go, Mike. You got your answer.
my favorite thing about the game yesterday, honestly, was 2 weeks ago, Iowa lost to a really, 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 really good Indiana team, a top 5 team in the country.
Yeah.
And people were saying, well, yeah, and I understand that our quarterback was hurt and we didn't really know where things were going, but it was the feeling was, well, if Iowa doesn't pull out a win against Wisconsin, bowl eligibility is off the table. Like the sky has completely fallen.
Let's put it this way. No, I might be one of them that said that, because I'm going to tell you right now, Wisconsin was the worst team on our schedule. We could not afford to lose to them.
They're not the worst team on our schedule.
Who is the worst
team? They have
team?
a top 5 rushing Minnesota.
You think Minnesota's worse than Wisconsin? Because they're winning games. They have an identical record to us.
Look at who they have played, Dean. Wisconsin's played Alabama. Wisconsin has played so many other teams. Wisconsin had a top 5 rushing defense. I mean, Wisconsin's not the worst. I mean, Minnesota, wait till you see what we do to Minnesota's defense.
To Paul's point on 3 last week, they had a thread. Is there even a possibility of winning 6 games?
Right.
This week, today they put up a thread. Will Iowa go 10-2 and make the playoffs? It's like crazy. We're neither one of those. We're not a 6-win team and we're not a 10-win team. Get a little reality going here, But that's the way fans are.
At one point, I had us beating USC, but I don't see that any longer, because
both
USC is playing a lot better than I thought.
It's possible because we know anything is possible. But I agree with you. The possibility of beating USC is not real good. But to say it's not possible, anything's possible.
It's a 50-50 game.
I don't know.
Iowa game.
Well, I did mark it down at the beginning of the year as a 50-50 game. I did.
Iowa can win 10 games this year. I mean, if they play the way they played against Indiana, they can win 10 games. If they come out and do what they can do, everything, because the top teams they play are Oregon is coming here. And like I said, if you compare the styles, I was going to be able to piss pound Oregon as well, just like Indiana did. But they're going to have a healthy Gronk. Like they're going to have a healthy Gronk, or there is no chance of beating Oregon.
But my point is, you can also lose a surprising game.
Well, that's the whole point of predicting.
You can't.
But you can't say that.
The whole point is showing up every Saturday. We can lose to Michigan State.
That's the whole point of these podcasts, Kelvin. That's the whole point of the podcast. Why are we doing this if you can't just do this?
I predicted on a podcast. I said we're going to go 8-5. But my whole point is, I can be on a podcast and tell people they're full of crap too. We're going to beat USC. Well, we might not. The probabilities are not.
People predict, Kelvin. That's the whole point.
I know they do.
What you think is going to happen.
That was my point about is there a road to 6 wins and is there a road to 10 wins? That was my point, Jason.
No, the road to 6 wins is ridiculous. Of course they're going to win more than 6. That's not even a question. That was Paul's point.
That was my point. I said saying we're going to win 6 games was ridiculous, and I said saying we're going to win 10 games now is also ridiculous.
No, that's not ridiculous at all. That's literally possible.
Yeah, we're going to beat Michigan State. Yeah, we're going to beat Michigan State, I predict. We'll beat Minnesota. That takes us up to our 6 wins. Now the question is Penn State, Oregon, and Nebraska. Can we and USC? Can we beat any of those teams?
Of course,
Okay.
we can
Yeah,
beat
we
them
can.
all.
Yes, we can.
Okay.
When
The only
However,
thing-
everything is possible.
after, like I said, after watching everything, I feel better about our chances against Penn State. I do feel like we now have a shot against Oregon. I feel less optimistic against USC,
I
and
don't understand
we'll
that.
see
Our
where we're at
defense-
with we'll see where we're at when we get to Nebraska, because like I said, Nebraska could be this year's false ID of college football.
I don't understand the love for USC. I mean, they look okay, but Iowa's defense is going to destroy their offensive line.
Yeah.
But
And guys, it's looking more and more like I will be going to that game and doing a live from the game. Okay.
the only thing that has to happen for Iowa to go 10-2 is Gronk has to stay healthy. If Gronk doesn't stay healthy, they're not going 10-2.
Yeah.
But
Well, Mike
regardless,
also said that. Yeah. Yeah. I was just going to say, Mike says Gronowski needs to be healthy, and if that happens, we can certainly go into the Coliseum and win.
yeah,
And I agree. Gronk has to be healthy, but right now I think he's still a little beat up.
I think it's interesting. In 2 weeks' time, I went from being a 10.5 point underdog to Penn State. Now we're a 1.5 point favorite.
3 points now. Everybody's putting their money on Penn State, so now it's up to 3.5.
Wow.
Yeah. So at 1.5, where it started at 1.5, everybody still believes in Penn State. So they believe Vegas is trying to trick them, so they're pouring money in on Penn State. So that
Penn
it's
State
on
still
Iowa.
has a solid
I'm
defense.
sorry. Right, but I'm sorry, but they're pouring their money in on Iowa. So it's pushing Iowa's margin up. Now they're
that's
favored
what I
by
thought.
3.5.
Yeah, the way you were saying it.
That
No, I
makes
was
more
backwards.
sense.
Yeah, I was
No.
backwards. Yeah.
Yeah.
But now it's crazy. I mean, you look on the internet and all these Iowa fans they're like, boy, we're confident we're going to beat Penn State. It's like Penn State, they don't have their quarterback, but they still got all these super duper players. You know what's going to happen? We don't know. But
By the way,
Not the
all of those same people were screaming to fire Ferentz after the Indiana loss.
That's just so dumb.
Yeah.
You play him to the last minute of
yeah.
the game.
So here's something I saw today, and I tried to share it, but I found out because you guys don't have that Facebook page, you weren't able to read it. But I shared a guy's comment. He was a Penn State fan, and he said that he had gotten to the point where he was comparing Franklin as their Kirk Ferentz, but he says, I take that back. You know, he takes that back. He now believes that, you know, having Kirk Ferentz is a positive for us and no longer a negative, because he'd said that, you know, about Franklin. So he just said, he goes, enjoy throttling us next week.
Oh, so this is a Penn State fan?
This is a Penn State fan, yes.
yeah, he was making fun of Kirk, and now he's apologizing to us and Kirk. But
Nobody.
Kirk's way better than Franklin.
There's very few schools who understand who they are, like Iowa.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just keep firing coaches at Iowa. We're not going to be Ohio State. We're going to have those years where we're going to be great, but we don't have the money to have a $25 million roster. So even with NIL, we're not going to be like Ohio State, right? And then at normal traditional schools, no, we're not going to be like Ohio State in the normal period either, because Iowa C is a small place. Like it's not going to attract the best athletes, period.
Yeah,
Some people say it's.
We're just never going to have the depth that those programs have. That's really what separates Iowa from the Ohio States and Alabamas. It's you know, our starting 22 in a lot of ways can match up okay, but you know, if we have to get into our backups and our twos and our threes,
it's not the same. It's not like Ohio State having Tavian St. Clair backing up their starter this year, which Tavian St. Clair's a stud as well. Like
Right.
he's going to be great. I bet he transfers and he's going to be great somewhere next year.
And
he's the backup.
the only reason our starting 22 ever even gets anywhere close to the talent of the teams that start on third base, like Michigan, Penn State, Ohio State, Oregon, USC. The only way they ever get there is they stay there for 4 years and Kirk develops them.
That's right.
We got a bunch of 3-star. 95% of our recruits are 3-stars.
Yeah. No,
You
that's or walk-ons, right?
Yeah.
They weren't even looked at it. They went to Iowa Western first. Didn't Wedgen go to Iowa Western or somewhere first?
Yes, he did.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
now because those years don't count anymore, he ends up with another year yet if he wants it.
Did you
He'll
hear
come
Kirk
back. He'll come back next year.
Did you hear Kirk talk about that? He goes,
No,
I
what'd he
think
say?
I think Wedgen's going to play until he's 40. He just wants to keep playing. It was funny. It was funny as hell.
If I was Kirk, I ain't kidding you. I'd go out and sign several junior college kids every year. They played 2 years of junior college and then they got 4 years left. That's crazy.
That's probably even better than the transfer portal.
Yeah, and
Right. Right.
Okay. Guys, I mean, we are kind of running out of some time here, but we do not have to do any of the negatives if you don't want to, because, it was a positive win.
Only had one, and that was with a question mark, was our punting is still not, incredible, but.
No, he's only averaging 43, and I think he only averaged 30-something yesterday.
Did you notice they actually did what I wanted them to do, which I thought was impressive? They backed him up. Did you notice? Now he's like 16, 17 yards back instead of the traditional 14, 15. Yeah. They did, and they didn't come close to blocking his punt. Now that hurts the angles for the rushers from the outside, but even when they come rushing up the middle, they don't have time to get to him. So
they did what I wanted them to do with him, which was shut out the other team and then rarely punt.
Yeah.
Because we scored 37 points.
Did you guys notice, and I don't know if it was explained because I missed the opening kickoff because I happened to turn my back for a minute. But did you guys see at the beginning that they backed up Wisconsin 15 yards, which gave Wedgen a chance to make a return on the kickoff?
I know the story behind that.
Well, I know the story, but I did not know that they actually enforced that.
What was the story?
They attacked our swarm when they come on the field. They pulled a Nebraska. Yeah,
one of the players was mad-mouthing right in front of the referee. The referee had to push him back, and so did the other team, his teammates. But yeah, I watched that and I go, did anybody else see that besides me?
I didn't know the explanation until today. I read it,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I didn't get the explanation until today.
It's like, and then they compared Fickle was becoming like Matt Rule,
How's that?
Because that's what Matt Rule did at Iowa City last year.
Oh, he
walked through our players when we were trying to do exercises. He told, he had his players not shake hands. Then he wouldn't shake hands with Jay Higgins on the sideline. Yeah, Matt Rule, I don't like him either. So
I like this.
Him do it.
These guys
maybe go ahead.
No, I said I like this because these guys are trying to intimidate our players, and our players got Kirk's personality. They're not shook up. They're and you're going to pay for it. They made Nebraska pay for it last year, and they made Wisconsin pay for it this year. And so it's just like, if you're going to do that kind of shit, you better back it up. And if you're going to taunt our swarm as they come out, you better win the game or not lose by 1,000,000 points.
You don't piss off the old man. PJ Fleck, Kirk's been paying him back for like 5 years now. We're going to take the pig home and leave the timeouts here. So.
Oh, did you guys see when Franklin got questioned by that reporter about why he didn't kick a field goal and he went for extra point instead, or something like that. I can't remember what it was, but I mean, he explained to him twice what he was doing, and the guy said that doesn't seem like what you were doing. And anyway, he just kept arguing with him, and somebody in the background finally had to muzzle the reporter. But I loved it. I loved it. You don't see journalists do that anymore. And I was going to bet my money that guy wouldn't be allowed at any Penn State media days again. But since Franklin got fired, he probably will be back.
Well,
Anywho.
that reporter probably made everybody think about that situation, right?
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that was a part of why he got fired. Yeah, why'd you make a dumb mistake like that?
Yeah.
I don't even know.
He goes,
I didn't even hear
going
that.
for it would have put you within 8 points. Well, we have to look at the time, and we have to points are hard to come by, so we had to make our decision based on what do they call that? Metrics. Based on the metrics.
Analytics or something.
Yeah, analytic metrics, whatever. Same thing. What's his name on Corey's show spouts off all the time. Okay.
Are you talking? Who uses analytics on Corey's show?
Well, Don Patterson does Iowa's
analytics.
He does Iowa's analytics for him. He works for Kirk, almost on a daily basis yet. He's an analytics guy, big math guy.
Yeah, I know that. I didn't know that he actually worked, but I know he had access to the practices and stuff. Yeah. Okay, guys, let's go over our games from last week. Congratulations, Calvin, 7-3. You're the winner this week.
What 3? I'm disappointed. I missed 3. What ones did I miss?
Iowa State, Oregon, and Michigan State. That's the same 3 we all missed, but the rest of us missed a couple of more.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised I picked Iowa State.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm surprised I finished over 500 for once.
Actually, no, you didn't, Jason. You and me both picked Colorado. You convinced. I had originally picked Iowa State last week when we did this, but you convinced me to switch to Colorado, and I did, and I'm glad I did. You and I went.
State's just too beat up.
Yeah, you and I went 6-4. You lost Michigan State. Who else did you? Oregon and Maryland. You picked Maryland.
So how did you guys do then? I missed 3 and
4. Paul went 5-5. 4. Jason and I went 6-4, and so.
Yeah. So it was a tight race.
Yeah, we were all right in there together.
Yeah, Paul won last week, so we're now catching Paul
this is the first time I've ever done good on these picks.
Yeah. For the season, I'm still leading 40-24. Calvin's right behind me with 37-27. Paul is at 31-20, and I kept trying to figure out why he doesn't have as many games, 64 games on his. He
wasn't there for a week.
Yep, he missed a week, and when I asked him to send his picks in, he didn't do it. And Jason missed a couple of weeks, so Jason, I didn't even bother to get your season record.
Yeah.
Well, you can still get it for right now. We can go off winning percentage.
I will go back and get the rest of your record and put it together, and you and Paul, and we'll do winning percentage instead of winning total.
Are we picking this week tonight or on Tuesday?
On Tuesday.
Okay.
Did I take a picture of that and send it to you guys yet? I will do that tonight. I got it already.
Bunch of good games.
Got Louisville at Miami, LSU at Vandy, Ole Miss at Georgia, Texas Tech at Arizona State, Tennessee at Bama, USC at Notre Dame, Utah at BYU, Nebraska at Minnesota, Penn State at Iowa. Oh, I still don't have one Big Ten game. I'm looking for a Big Ten game to put in there, and I can't find one yet, or an Iowa State game.
There's some good Big Ten games in there, but I think we should do the Iowa Penn State game. But
oh yeah. We have to. And I got Nebraska at Minnesota.
Paul, are you in a recliner?
I'm on
No,
the sofa.
Paul. Oh, it looks like a recliner. I mean, that'd been
It does
hilarious if you just.
recline.
Oh, there you go.
All right. Looks like we lost everybody. We got one person hanging in there. Whoever you are, thank you. Let's just do this to end this one in there. Who hell takes the Penn State job? 10 win seasons for consecutive years. First sign of trouble and you get fired. Remember, that happened to Nebraska. And remember, Wisconsin was annually a 10-win season too when they got rid of Paul Chryst.
9.
Nebraska.
Ryan. Go ahead.
That sounds like a
I was
great
going to
topic.
say Ryan Day was fired until he won the national championship last year.
Yeah.
I mean, he was gone. He was gone at Columbus last year after he lost to Michigan. And God darn it, he made the run in the playoffs and won the national championship and kept his job. So that's the way it is. So.
I was just going to say that Wisconsin, Nebraska, those were 9-win coaches.
Yeah.
Okay.
Franklin's a 10-win coach. Even worse. But that's when it goes back to knowing who you are. Penn State is a school where they expect very, very high expectations. Where, like, if you have one bad year there, you're in trouble. Where at Iowa, we know who we are. And I know there's some Iowa fans who just want to fire every coach every other year.
Yeah.
Instead of knowing who you are and how you can recruit.
And Penn State's a level above Wisconsin and Nebraska as far as recruiting footprint and all that stuff. So.
Back in Joe Paul's early years, Penn State was a force, an elite blue blood. But in his later years, they fell off quite dramatically. And as proven by Iowa, had beaten him several years, beat Joe Paul a lot. In his later years.
But when we beat them, they'd be ranked number 3 or something. So it wasn't like they fell off the face of the earth. But.
I thought they. I'm gonna go back. You're gonna make me go look now for Joe Paul.
Joe Paul had some Joe Paul had some seasons where he went 7-5, but he also had seasons where he went 10-2 and 11-1
and won national title game. I think.
Yeah, speaking of Penn State, I was talking to my wife tonight about how I'm the only one out of all you guys who picked Ohio State to win. And you guys all picked Penn State because of what they had returning. And that's probably a part of why Franklin got fired. Look at who they had returning. Compare talent with anybody with Penn State. And look at how bad they're playing.
Yeah.
Like it's remarkable.
And
they returned like 15 starters or some crap off last year's team or more.
Yeah, they brought in 2 freaking of the best transfer wide receivers in the country.
Yeah.
But brand new ones for this year. And they're playing good, them wide receivers. But Franklin kind of built his own nest last year when they said that before the season last year, they asked Franklin, they expanded the playoffs, and he said, if I don't make the playoffs at Penn State, I should be fired.
Yep.
He said that. If I lose more than 3, if I lose 3 games in a season, I should be fired at Penn State. You know, I should be a top 12. I should be a top 12 team every year.
What were you going to say, Paul?
We got to save this stuff for Tuesday, man. We're gonna.
I know it. Especially if we get that Penn State guy on, because.
So did that caller ask a question or did he just make a comment?
Just made a comment.
Okay.
Yeah, he just that's more of a rhetorical question. Like, who would want the job when the pressure that take a job like that?
All righty.
Guys, let's get out of here. We'll see you guys on Tuesday night when we'll do the Penn State game. We hope to have a special guest. He's not confirmed yet, but it should be fun because he's a guy who, on the previous show we had him on, he wanted Franklin fired. So it should be interesting. It should be happy days for him.
All right. Awesome. Big Penn State fan. So
yeah. All righty, guys. We'll talk to you guys later. Thanks for watching.
Go Hawks.